Hi and welcome to the very first shop update here on my YouTube channel. My name is Luise Heinzel. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is a very special video. This is a premiere. And it's not only a premiere because this is the very first shop update that I'm doing, but it's also a premiere because something really incredible happened. Something that touched my heart, my soul, my nerves. I had some really nerve-wracking days and nights as well, nights without sleep, because what happened is so incredible for me that I nearly can't believe it. And this is a very special video because I would like to tell you something about that. That is something matchless in the story of Luise Heinzel and her digital paper. That is something that never happened before, and I guess something that will never happen again in the future. But I would like to tell you something about that later. So, yeah. Let's make it a little bit exciting. I'm so nervous doing this video. You can't believe that. But let's start with the papers that I would like to introduce you today. As you can see, I have lots to share with you today. So these are the papers that are new in my Etsy shop. That means there could be some of the items that you might already have seen. For example, this one or this one. This is already in the shop, but there are also some brand new things that will be listed today when this video goes online. And as you perhaps can guess, when you look at the colors, here we have very much about Halloween. So this video is all about my Halloween papers. Nevertheless, you can also use some of the items that I want to show you today in other projects. I would like to give you some suggestions. I can't talk. Oh my goodness, what shall this be today? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I would like to give you some suggestions how you can use those Halloween papers in other projects. There are some neutral pages as well that can be combined with many other themes that you might have in your journals. So you have asked for such a video like this, so that's the reason why I'm doing this, because yeah, of course, in I would say 99% of the cases, your wish is my command. So we are talking about these Halloween papers today. And of course, you are very welcome to ask questions. Please write your question in the comment section below. If you have one or several questions, ask what you want. If something is not clear or you have anything else to ask, then please feel free to use the comment section and I will try my best to answer your questions. And I've also picked up some questions that I already got to answer them in this video. So perhaps you might have some problems with printing or something like that. Then you will perhaps, hopefully, find some answers in this video. So let's start with this set here. This is called Halloween Neutral Basics, as you can read here. Please don't be confused about the measurements of this paper or the print. I have printed the front picture, so that is some kind of a folder picture that you also can find in my Etsy shop at this start page, at the main page. So that comes in this squared format. I've just printed that so that you can see how that looks in the shop and that you can find it easier when you go to my shop and you want to find this item. So that means you will of course get this main page with the kit that you are buying as well, and you can print it. You will get these little borders here, and then you can also use that to put that to your storage system. If you want to put the papers into a folder or something like that, then you can take this as a main page as well, so that you can always read and remember what this was and how it is called if you want to search for something, if you have any questions or something like that, then you always know the name. If you see something in this video that you like and you think, okay, I want to have that, I want to check that out closer in Luise's Etsy shop, then you can just type in this name here in my shop, Or you could, of course, also remember the name or write it down while you are watching the video, and then later on click to the info box down below this video. There is everything listed separately. So you will, for example, find Halloween neutral basics written down there, and there's the direct link to this item where you have this whole set of papers. So I thought about a way to make it the most easy for you so that you can easily find that. So these papers here, as you can see, are, I mean, you can guess that when you look at this preview picture, they are really neutral. That's also the reason why they are called neutral basics. This is a neutral Halloween set with those typical Halloween colors. As you can see, this deep purple, this green, and some other colors, this bright yellow, a little bit orange, and that stuff, so that you can use that, for example, as background pages. You could also, of course, use that as a collage background. You could journal on them and so on. The colors are mainly the same during this set, but the texture, no, that's not the right word. Yeah, I mean, it's a digital texture, isn't it? The texture of the papers is a little bit different, but the colors are really similar, so that these all would work really, really well in one and the same journal. Perhaps you think, what is that? This is really relatively boring. Here's nothing on it. Yes, it isn't, because I wanted to have a really basic kit, a really basic collection, especially of those colors. I have made the experience when I was creating my Halloween journals, I had problems to find the right colors. I went through my stash of papers and I really had problems to find, for example, such a really extreme green, or especially this deep purple is really hard to find for me. And for me, it was, yeah, I think... I don't know how I can say that. I thought it is a good idea to have this as a printable paper, because when you print this, of course, those special Halloween colors will always be the same when you print them. Do you understand what I mean? To reach this color with, for example, inks or acrylic paints or watercolor, and then going over that with something that distresses the pages, is really time consuming. It wastes much of your mediums. And this is just a really cheap way to, excuse me, please, to get papers in the right color for your Halloween projects. I thought that is a great thing. But of course, you don't have to use them for Halloween projects. As you can see, they are really neutral, and you can, of course, use them in other projects as well. And that was a really big wish for myself when I created this set, that you have the possibilities to use all of these pages also in other projects. Imagine a vintage journal, for example. You could put this in here. It's a really cool neutral page that you can use for putting some collage on it, or some pockets, some belly bands, just for decoration and your embellishments. You could take this color, for example, for an autumn journal that is not Halloween themed. I mean, autumn and Halloween, that's at the same time of the year, of course, but if you don't like Halloween, for example, then you could use those neutral papers, this orange and also this yellow, for some autumn projects. And yeah, I've tried to get some variations into these neutral pages. This would also be really great for a circus, hopefully that's the right word, journal. I have some pages that would work with Alice in Wonderland really, really well. I will tell you about that in a second. So, for example, this one here would work with Alice really, really well. I mean, imagine some playing cards on here or some other elements. Those typical Alice pictures would work really well. And this red is really bam. I have to say, in the camera at the moment, it looks a little bit not so bright than in reality. I've wanted these papers to be really, really intensive and really bright for really colorful journals. But at the same time, we have some neutral colors here as well, so that you can mix and match them as you want. And I also really like, what I also really like about this neutral set is that you have a really big amount of pages that you can print out even separately and use them in several journals. I mean, you could have this printed out several times and then you perhaps sort that by color, like you have sorted your organized your stash of papers, and you could put them in there. And if you, for example, need a purple page for a lavender journal, this would be just perfect. And then you can take it out, you have it, and then you can put it in there. And if you have several of those neutral pages, you could collect them and then use them when you need them. Do you know what I mean? So that you don't have to think about which digital paper do I want to print today, but you already have them and you know these neutrals would work with nearly any theme, or you could imagine various themes that you can use them for. So this would work with Alice really well as well. As you can see, I have this, I don't know how this shape is called in English. You know, this is screaming for Alice. This is also really grungy. So if you like this grunge, then this is for you, I would say. Yeah, so here we have also some darker backgrounds with a little bit of texture and structure and that stuff. For these, I thought I wanted to have something where you also can write with a white pen. So many of you have asked for that. I've tried to put some of your wishes into these new printables that I'm showing you here, and also for the future. I've tried to, get your questions, write them down, and then I've tried to put into these ideas into my printables. And many of you have asked for darker pages where you can write with a white pen, and these are perfect for that. I mean, imagine writing with a white Posca pen, for example, on this paper. This would be absolutely gorgeous. I love this rusty feeling that it got. And some of you also have asked which papers I use to print. So I would quickly explain how I'm doing that and what's the problem perhaps for some of you out there. Some of you have written me that when you print your papers, that you get some kind of a grayish thingy on top of your paper. So you have told me that when you watch my videos, the papers look really bright and crisp and normal, I would say, in a good quality. And when you print that at home, you sometimes get this kind of gray fog on top of your papers. I would like to try to explain why that could happen, because many of you are asking which printer I'm using. And I guess that the most of you are thinking that the printer is the problem, that you can't get a good quality print out from your digital files. In my opinion, in the most cases, it's not the problem of the printer, but the problem of the paper that you are using. When you download an item from my shop, then every single file that you want to print is like a photo for your printer. That means you get a JPEG file. You can see that at the ending of the file, it says JPEG. And all of these JPEG files that you want to print are like a photo for your printer. That means if you put normal copy paper into your printer, but in the settings of your printer, you say, print this as a photo, and print that on the highest quality that you can, because you think I have a photo that is a photo. You want to have the highest quality. And some printers also have some other special settings for photos. Then of course your printer is thinking that it shall print a photo. But for a photo, you need a photo paper as well. And if you put a normal copy paper into your printer, but your printer prints a photo, then in the most cases, you will get way too much ink to your paper. So that means your normal copy paper that you are perhaps using is soaking the ink way too much, so that in the end, your image that you have printed is grayish. That is because it's too much ink on your normal copy paper. And that's because I recommend using photo paper to print such printables. Photo paper, sometimes in the people's heads, is like, oh my goodness, photo paper is really hard, it's really thick, and it's glossy. The most people think that because, of course, in the past, when we printed normal photos, I mean, when I say past, I mean before we have explored digital paper, before we have had printers that can print in color. Do you know what I mean? Then we went to a shop with our camera, or there's little film in there, and we have printed photos on photo paper, and that was glossy. That were these normal photos that you all might know. And in our heads, often photo paper is this really stiff, glossy stuff. But this is photo paper as well. And I think many of you don't have that in mind. That's because I'm talking about that, because I want to clear that up and make it easier for you, because it is so easy to print a digital paper. As you can see, this is like normal copy paper. This is a little bit thicker. This is 110 GSM. It feels like normal copy paper, but this is photo paper. And that's because, that's the reason why my prints look so good in the camera and in reality, of course, as well. This special paper has a photo surface on the top. So where I have printed this here is the photo surface that feels a little bit smoother than the back side, but it's not glossy, it's not stiff, it's not like this photo paper that you perhaps have in your head. The back side of this paper is normal copy paper. That means you can print, for example, a neutral background that's not so important for your journal to the background, to the back side, sorry. Or you have to set your printer to a lower quality and to a normal copy paper print setting. Do you know what I mean? But on this front side, you can get a really cool photo print, as you can see. And there are also some photo papers that have this special surface on both sides, on the front and the back. Of course, that's a little bit more expensive, but it's totally worth it, because in the end of the day, you have a really, really cheap paper when you print this out. I mean, you buy this digital item once and then you can print it as often as you want for your projects and create handmade things with that, and you can combine that with any other things that you want, and you can print it as often as you want it once you have the file. And for me, that is really cool, because I can think, okay, I need an orange page. I go to my computer and I print this out, and even if I have something that failed, for example, I can print this again and start new. So I make a collage, or I accidentally drop something on my paper, or I want to place a pocket here and something goes wrong. I can just take this, tear it up, make some scraps from the rest, print it out again and start new. And that's a really cool thing for me about digital paper. Okay, so that was that. Then I thought, why not combining Halloween with ledger paper? I don't know why, but that was in my head, and I thought, let's make a Halloween ledger. So this is the preview page. If you want to remember the name, Halloween Ledger Junk Journal Pages is the name of this. As I said, everything is listed down below in the description box. So search for the name in the list of the items in the description box, and then you will get the direct link to this item. This is how it looks in the preview of my shop. And now let's go into it. I have put some original ledgers into the background. So these, all of these things that you can see here, I have collected over the years, and then I have digitalized them so that we have them here in the background. And I wanted to combine that with some sunflowers and skulls, as you can see here, so that we have this Halloweenish feeling, but not so bam, typically Halloween. Do you know what I mean? So these papers you could also use for some other projects, of course. If you think skulls wouldn't fit to my project, but I like the sunflowers, then just take a button, a scrap, a little cluster, put it over the skulls, and you would have a really cool paper with sunflowers and ledger, but it is not Halloween themed, or not this, you know, this theme that we have with the skulls. So that means, what I'm trying to say is, this paper is really versatile, I would say. You could imagine also some gluing something else here that is round, for example, a face, or put a paper doll here on top, and this whole set would look completely different if you don't like these things here. Or if you like them for one season of the year, use them, and when you don't like them anymore, or they are not the right thing for the season, then just glue something over them, and you would have a really, yeah, versatile paper, as I said, with only this one set. I've also tried to include some writing space, because many of you have asked for that. I often get the feedback that you really like this busy style of my papers, that you have something that has already really much on it. Thank you for that, by the way. And also for your other really, really nice messages about my paper. That makes me always so happy, and I'm so, so grateful for everyone who likes my papers. So perhaps I should say that as well, because this is, yeah, this is a really special thing for me, that I am able to do this, and that I'm allowed to do this in my life. I have talked about that very often, but this is, yeah, this is always something. When I talk about my things, perhaps I should say that a little bit more often, because I'm really, really appreciating that. And of course, I'm really happy about your suggestions. So I've tried to include some of that into the new papers as well. For example, some neutral space for journaling. I've also tried to include the these things here from the ledger for some journaling. So here you can see this frame, and you have the possibility to use these lines here for your journaling as well, of course. This frame gives a really cool, you know, focal point. Here you could write a poem, for example, or something really special. Here you could journal about your day or whatever. So I'm only trying to give you some suggestions what you could do. And for this paper, I've also tried to get a really rough and grungy look. So let me show you that a little bit closer. Hopefully you can see that. So here, for example, I've tried to get this really kind of worn texture to these flowers here, so that it looks like it is already distressed with something. I wanted to have that you have a really easy job to put that into your journal. So these little things here, these splatters, for example, you already have them here. I mean, you could always add more, of course, but this, I would say, gesso effect that we have here, for example, and on the other pages as well, so that they are cohesive, of course. You don't have to do that by yourself with gesso and waiting for drying and that stuff. So I thought could be cool if you have that already on the page. And as you can see, the sunflowers are orange and not yellow. I would say the typical sunflower in our heads is yellow. And I've tried to get something that's not so typical. So I've chosen these orange colors here, because I wanted to have it, yeah, you know, this sunflower vibes, but not in this typical yellow color scheme. But yeah, I hope you like that. So yeah, that's that. And then the next thing is the collection the collection of my life. I have no words for that. This is just crazy. This is just so crazy. The thing that happened with this paper collection is for me the most unbelievablest thing. I don't know, is that a word? I can't believe what happened with this set. And I had really a ton of sleepless nights, a ton of hours where I sat on my desk and I thought, this is not real. Yeah, I thought this is not real. And I want to tell you a story now that actually isn't a story because it's the reality. That what I'm telling you now happened in reality. And I'm so hoping that I don't get any shitstorm for that. That's also the reason why I'm explaining what happened. And that will take me a few minutes because, you know, my mother language is German and I'm trying to do this in English so that you can feel what I feel. I want to bring my emotions to you and I want to explain this, what happened here to you so that you can understand that and that you don't think that I got to the criminal side of digital paper, because I will tell you something now that is really, really strange, and you could think that I did a copyright infringement. I, of course, didn't do that, but it seems like I did. Do you know what I mean? It's so strange and such a big coincidence that I couldn't believe that. So let me tell you something about that. These are my Halloween junk journal pages. I worked on this set from today, when you see this video, approximately 3 weeks to the past. You know, since 3 weeks from today, I'm working on this set. That means, seen from today, 3 weeks back, I sat on my computer and I thought, I want to have a Halloween paper that is, on the one hand, really fancy, whimsical, but classical at the same time. So I sat there on my desk. I'm always saying on my desk. I think it's at my desk, but sorry. In front of my computer, and I thought, there are so many people from overseas. There are so many American people who are watching my videos, who are influencing what I'm doing. There are so many friends in the meantime that I will probably never meet in my life, but you are the people, of course, not only the people from America, yeah, but the people from all over the world that are understanding English and that are watching my English videos. So I'm speaking about the English part of my viewer community. You are giving me so much, and without you, and that's a fact, and I'm saying that because it comes from the bottom of my heart, without you English-speaking people, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here on my desk making digital paper, making junk journal tutorials, talking to you. My life would be totally different without every single person of you. So what I want to say is, every single viewer out there, every single comment, every single message, and of course, every single customer of my shop is making my life what it is. And I'm so grateful for that. And when I think about that, for example, when I go to bed and I'm thinking about the day and the things that I am allowed to do, I think I could cry every night, because this is so big for me. This is such a big thing, and I will be forever grateful for that. In the beginning, when I started my junk journal journey and I started my YouTube channel, there were no German-speaking people out there, or nearly no. And I experienced such a heartwarming community with you English-speaking people. And for me, that is a really special thing. You have brought me to this point where I'm now. And you, with all of your ideas, suggestions, and questions, and things that you wanted to do me, you have brought me to this point that I can say I have made this paper and I'm proud of this paper, and I'm really happy that we all can enjoy that we can help each other, and so on. I have to talk about that, even if that has not directly something to do with this paper, but I want you to understand what is in my heart at the moment. And I wanted to have something for my Halloween paper that's my vision of a typical Halloween thing in America. When I hear about American Halloween decoration, for example, Halloween parties, Halloween costumes, then in my head it's like this whole Halloween season. I mean, you call it a season. That's strange for me as well. This whole Halloween season is like a costume party, decorating the house in a way that I even can't imagine doing that. I mean, if you look around here in my craft room, you will not see any Halloween decoration, because here in Austria, it's not so typical that we do that. Yeah, I even don't have any Halloween decoration, and I'm not planning to do that, but I'm really fascinated about that. I'm really enjoying watching American videos about this Halloween stuff and all of the things that are with this candy corn thing. I mean, you can see a candy corn here in my paper. This is so special for me. I've never had candy corn. There are so many nice people. I have to say that also. There are so many people who have asked me if they shall send candy corn to me. And there are 2 people who will do that. Thank you so much for that. But I got so many messages after my candy corn birds video, where I have turned those little silhouette birds by Tim Holtz into some candy corn birds. You were so sweet. And you were so, this was such a heartwarming thing for me. And now I'm like connected with you. Yeah. So I've tried to get some comic characters to my papers, because comic is always for me like wearing a costume. And I've tried to put some typical American things into this printable, but combined with those vintage images, as you can see here. Because for some people, I don't know if that is the same for you. You can tell that, please, in the comments, let me know about that. But for German-speaking people, many people in Germany and here in Austria have told me that those vintage photos look really scary in their eyes. And this is something that is often combined with Halloween. And you find that in Halloweenish papers, decoration, journals, and so on, papercraft projects. And so I've tried to get this mix out of this classical things, this comic stuff, and the vintage photos. So that was what I had in my mind and in my heart when I created this paper. As I said, approximately 3 weeks ago, I sat in front of my computer, and this was the first thing that I have created, the first page where I tried out how this can work. And perhaps you know that if you want to create a digital paper, of course you need images that are copyright free. Images that are in the public domain, for example, so that you can use them. So these both pictures here, for example, are in the public domain. These characters here I have bought with a license. That means I'm allowed to put them into my paper, and then I can sell the paper. You are allowed to print it out and create something with it and then sell that. For example, you make a journal out of this, then you can sell it. Yeah? So you can't sell the printout itself, you can't swap the printout itself, and you can't gift the printout itself away, but you can sell anything and gift away anything, of course, that you have made with this paper. That means a new project made out of this paper. And this whole thing from making the paper until you have it in your hands, of course, requires that everything is copyright free or that you have a license to use those images. In some of my papers, I have some hand-drawn images. You have seen that in the past, and you will, of course, see that in the future. Some of those characters I'm drawing by myself. But in this case, my skills were not enough to do that. And I have found these characters here, these little vampires, and you will see other creatures in a second. And I thought, this is exactly what I need. So I bought these images with this license to be allowed to use them. Then I came to this page, and on this page I have put this little mummy here. And this creature will go into the history of Louise Heinzel, definitely. I have thought about printing this on a very big canvas and hanging that to my wall, because for me this is absolutely incredible what happened with this little mummy. When I have created this, I had already finished everything, and I have printed that out, and I thought, okay, let's make the video. I mean, I'm talking about the video that I'm making right now, yeah. I thought I can do the shop update, I can tell the people about my paper, hopefully they will like it, blah, blah, blah. I thought, okay, let's do that. But then a coffee came across my way, and I thought, okay, let's take the coffee before we start recording the video, yeah? And while I was sitting there, and as I said, this thing was already on the paper, it was on my computer, it was printed out, it was ready to go. I sat there with my phone, and I like to go through Instagram while I'm having my coffee. It's really inspirational for me, and I like to come in contact with you, and I like to see your posts, and so on. And then, suddenly, I came across a post by Mr. Holz. I'm talking about Tim Holz. Tim, if you perhaps are watching this video, oh my goodness. Perhaps that could happen. After this story, perhaps that could happen. Hi, Tim. I'm so confused and I'm so speechless. I saw the new release by Tim Holz and Stampus Anonymous on my phone screen. And I was like, ooh, Halloween, let's check out what other people are doing. I mean, of course, I'm following Tim Holz. As you can guess, I love this man. Yeah, so I will tell you about my feelings for him in a second. But I like what he is doing. And of course, I'm following him really extremely. Yeah, I'm not a stalker. But of course, when he is posting something, I am one of the first people who are pressing the little heart and like the little post and reading that really, really carefully, or not carefully, but how is that called? What's the word? I mean, I'm interested in what he is doing, yeah? And of course, I checked this post. I thought the Saturdays and his live videos, that's always really special. It's like a holiday for me. Watching his live videos is for me like going to a little holiday, relaxing. And we also sometimes are meeting in a chat room with some German-speaking people. So I have some German-speaking friends who are watching Tim's videos as well, but they can't understand the English language. And then sometimes we are meeting and I'm trying to translate what he is saying in his live videos, and we always have so much fun. There's so much inspiration in those videos. So if you don't know Tim Holtz's live videos, please check that out. I can't imagine that you don't know that, but if you haven't watched that, for example, because you thought, ooh, what shall that be? Please watch that. It's so much fun and it's so inspirational. All of the makes that his makers are sending to him, and he shows that you can't get more inspiration somewhere than in this live video. So, or videos. So I've checked the post, and I thought, even if I have, I would say, enough Halloween stuff, I thought perhaps I will buy something for next year, because this year for me, Halloween is really full, I would say, because of my own printables. But I thought, let's check out what he has in the new release with Samples Anonymous. Yep. So there was this post where all of the new items were they were layered over each other in this really, cool post that he always have. He always layers the things on top of each other, and then you can think, oh, what is that? What is that? And you want to see what it is. So I've swiped through the single items, and suddenly I saw something. I will put a picture here. That this, what you can see here now, is the original post by Tim. And perhaps you want to take a deep breath and compare the mummy with his mummy. I mean, what the heck? I was sitting there in my kitchen with my coffee, and I thought, what the heck is going on here? Am I dreaming? Or I was in shock. Yeah, my whole body was shaking when I saw that. And I thought, this is not possible. I'm dreaming. Yeah, can please somebody come and wake me up? I was like, what the heck? The first thing that I thought was, I mean, you are beginning to think after the shock has gone, yeah? So I thought, even if I am totally sure that the page where I have bought this character and the other characters in this set is 100% legal, and it's a really, really, what is the English word? I don't know the English word. Do you know? It's safe to buy licensed pictures there. So I was sure that I'm allowed to use this for my printable. But I thought perhaps the person who was selling this to me has stolen it from Tim Holtz. That was my first thought. But then, I mean, that happens really often. I mean, go to AliExpress, for example. Go to all of those shitty platforms, where the people are stealing designs and then they are selling them. You can find my own printables on AliExpress sold by other people who have stolen them from me. Yeah, and that happens to Tim Holtz as well, because his stuff is just great. It's a really big compliment if if someone is doing that, but of course it's not legal and it's a copyright infringement. And I thought, what if the person who has sold this to me has stolen it from Tim, and now I'm using it and everyone is saying you have stolen that from Tim? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be on the illegal side of digital paper. But then I thought, that can't be possible, because this here is here for 3 weeks, and this post that he has posted was just a few days ago. So that couldn't be possible, that the person who has drawn this has stolen it from him. That is not possible. That is just not possible. So I thought, okay, it seems to be completely legal. I have the license for this, and he obviously has it as well, but I wanted to be 100% sure, and that was the reason why I have messaged him to come in contact with him, to ask him what has happened there and how this is possible. So he has written back to me. So Tim, if you're watching that, thank you very much for your fast response. That was really amazing to me, because I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? I have typed my message, and then a few minutes later he already had answered. That was really fantastic for me, because I could calm down then. I was not myself in that moment. I don't know if you can imagine how you feel if you see that. But yeah, so he said that obviously we have chosen the same image for our designs. He for his stamp collection, me and I for this paper collection. And we have obviously licensed the same picture, the same character. And then I, of course, have asked him if it's okay if I use it. And he said, yes, of course, why not? Because you have the license, I have the license. That happens not often, but sometimes it happens. I have talked with some junk journal friends about this. Thank you all for your patience. I will not say any names because that would be too long and too boring for you, but the people who I'm talking to you now know that they are the people, you know. That was really helpful for me. You have given me some really good arguments to leave the mummy or to remove it. But I finally have decided that I want to leave it here. I know that there could be many people who could come up with some kind of a shitstorm now. The people who haven't seen this video and who haven't heard my explanation about that wouldn't see that this is legal. They would perhaps think, oh my goodness, Luise Heinzel has stolen something from Tim Holtz and she has put that into her paper. If you meet some of those people who perhaps say that to you, I would be so happy if you could tell them that this was totally coincidence and that everything is okay with this paper, with the stamp, and that I haven't done any copyright infringement. I would be so happy if you see this video and you talk with the people about that. I mean, this is a really obvious thing. This will be a discussion in the future. I know that. And I would be really happy if you could help me a little bit and talk with the people who are thinking that this is not legal and tell them that it is. Why am I leaving this here and why am I living with a shitstorm that probably will come to me after this video will go online and after this goes into my shop? I know that there will be a shitstorm. Why am I dealing with that and why am I doing that to myself? There's a really easy reason. Tim Holtz, for me, is a really, really big role model. Tim, if you're watching this by accident or perhaps you are interested in what I have done with the rest of the papers, you are such a big role model for me. And that is a really personal thing, of course. That is a really emotional thing as well. When I think about him and what he is doing to the craft community, what he is doing with his products, I mean, of course, he wants to sell his products, yes. But he is doing that on such a wonderful way with so much heart, and he gives so much of his own spirit, his energy, explaining something, being surprised about unexpected things that happen while he is having a demo, for example. Explaining things so clearly that are all things that make this whole cake, we would say in German. So this whole cake of respect that I have for this man and what he is doing and what he has reached in his life. The opinions about that could be really different. I know that there are many people who love Tim Holtz and there are many people who hate him. I know that, but the amount of people who love him are more than the others, and the others are go away. You know how I mean that. I mean, yeah. So for me, that is a really personal thing. And to have all of those people who are watching his videos in this community, I mean, he's spreading so much inspiration, yeah, so much of this community feeling that is nearly unbelievable for me. And in this way, he's such a big role model for me because I'm trying this in a really small way. I mean, look at my subscribers, 26,000 subscribers compared to the amount of subscribers that he has. He has a very big audience, of course. I'm trying to do that for my audience as well. I mean, I'm happy with my subscribers. Don't think anything wrong about that, yeah? But compared to him, I'm a really small woman in this YouTube world and in this craft community. But I'm trying to do exactly the same like he is doing. And on that point, he is such a big role model for me that it is, for me, incredibly awesome that I've chosen the same mummy for my printable as he did. That I have chosen the same picture that he would put into his stamp collection. Taking that out from my printable, I mean, I could have removed this. That would be not the problem. Remove this here, and from the other pages where this character is, put something else here or nothing. Nobody would know that it was here. Yeah, so that would have been absolutely no problem. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that without being sad and without crying. I could even cry now because this is so emotional for me, yeah. I am feeling like I was in his head for a few seconds. And I know that many of you perhaps can't understand that because perhaps you are not so familiar with Tim Holtz and how he is working, how he is talking, and how he is bringing the stuff to the world. If you are not familiar with him, or if you don't like him, then you can perhaps not feel what I feel. But this was so special for me that I thought it has to be here, yeah, because my connection, my inner connection to him is so big that I had to leave it here. And if I would have removed this, it would have, I mean, I have taken it out to see how this looks, and then it felt like a part of my heart was torn out. That it was not possible. I haven't expected that this gets so emotional, but for me it is emotional, and you can perhaps hear that I still am in this shock, yeah? So, yeah. If you want to have a really cool stamp that matches this paper, then you can buy the new stamp by Tim Holtz. It will be released, I think, on August 27th. But I think you can already pre-order it now in some of the shops. Check out his website. You can find all of the information there. And I think you can already pre-order that. And I mean, how big is the chance that I can say Tim Holtz has a stamp that matches my paper? I mean, that will happen only this one time in my life. And I had to use, or, you know, I had to use this chance that I can say that. I'm so proud. I even don't know why I'm proud, because I haven't done anything. I have chosen this image and that was all. Yeah, I haven't done anything, but I'm feeling proud for some reason. I don't know. Yeah. So, okay. So here on this page, and thank you very much for your patience and for listening to this, because that was so important for me to tell you that. So on this page, I have tried to include something that one of my lovely viewers has told me. There's a similar day, like not similar. It's actually a really different day, but there's a day in Mexico that can be compared to Halloween in America, for example. I can't say that in the language, but the people have really crazy costumes, and you can Google that. If you Google Halloween in Mexico, then you will find that, and you will find the explanation for that special day that isn't Halloween, but you know what I mean. It is, you can compare it with that. And I have tried to get the feeling of this Mexican day to this page here. The people there have very colorful flowers, and they are wearing hats, and they have faces like skulls, not in this way, but with white and black. But I wanted to have this, you know, you can see, perhaps, if you know it, that it is meant as this Mexican day, but I don't want it to have it so obvious. So I've tried to get that in here to bring that what the viewer has suggested to the paper here. Yeah. And I'm really nervous. This is really nerve-wracking for me, because I know when I upload this video I will get comments, and I'm so excited to hear what you think about that thing with the mummy. Nevertheless, we have some neutral background papers in this set as well. These are a little bit darker as well, so that they fit to this Halloween theme, but also other themes like Gothic or something like that. Or a Raven journal, for example, would be really cool with this. Even steampunk, this, for example, would work with steampunk really well, or with Alice in Wonderland, even if it's green. I mean, the pattern here would work with Alice really well. And now you could take these and print them to the back of the pages that I have shown you a second ago, so that you have something really neutral, and then these colorful Halloween pages, dieses Wort. Dieses Wort, Luise! Alternatively, nein. Alternately. This language. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but these, of course, would work with other themes of journals as well. Really neutral. You get them with the Halloween pages that I have shown you before, so that this and the other ones is one set. And then I have created a special ephemera pack. That is a very new thing for my shop as well. This is a layered ephemera pack. Normally, if you see an ephemera pack in my shop, it says only ephemera pack. Yeah, so you know that. You can cut that out. There are tags and pockets and belly bands or envelopes that you can fold together and have them in your journal. But this is something new, and for me, something really special, something that I have never seen on Etsy before or in any other shop that sells digital paper. If you have seen something like this and you know that someone else is doing the same thing like I'm showing you now, please let me know. Please put a link to the comments where you have seen it, or please tell me if you have seen it if it's new to you. So what I'm talking about is the following thing. You can create a really dimensional thing for your journal. In the camera it looks relatively flat, but can you hear that? This is sturdy, because here we have several layers of paper on top of each other. I'm trying to show that to you so that you can see how thick this is. I have made this really extremely thick because I wanted to show you that in the camera, so that you can see it really extremely in the camera. Yeah, but I mean, this is an extreme version of this ephemera pack. And when I say version, you can hear that you can do several things with that. You can customize that as you want it. And as you can see, for example, here the head and this little fabric around the head, this is all higher than the rest. This little thing here, for example, is also it's so hard to show you. Can you see that? This is not only really sturdy, but it's dimensional at the same time. The same with the candy corn, this little mushroom here, these bones and the mushrooms here, and the tickets as well. And for this, you have things in this ephemera pack that you can print out, cut out, and then put that together. So to make this little pocket, what I have shown you, you will need this page from the printable, cut everything out. And then you will need this page, cut everything out. But you can easily see what you need. I mean, as you can see, this is the same. Yeah, you can see that as a puzzle, and it's really, really easy to assemble this, to have this little pocket. So let me show you how you can use that. And by the way, I will also record a separate video where I show you exactly, step by step, how you can assemble this thing with the elements on this sheet to get something like this. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek, you know, something if it's clear for you how you have to do that. I mean, for the most people it will be clear because it's so easy. Then of course you can already do it, and if you need help, there will be a video coming very soon where I show you how I have planned that you can assemble this. So you could take this separately, put that to a page that you already have, or of course you could also use the page from the other set if you want to buy that together. Then of course you could use the other page. Now I can't find it. Here we go. You could use the page from the other set, and then when you have this, you could put that here. As you can see, this fits perfectly to the things that are below. This doesn't destroy the page. It's just a thing that you can put something onto the page without changing the design of the page. That was my idea behind that. So if you would glue this here, and you would glue it here and here and here, then you would have a little pocket where you can put something in here, or of course something else in here like this. You could also use the mushrooms and the candy corn here as a tuck spot. I'm demonstrating this with this really big, this is a fat tea bag. Yeah, so this is really thick. But I want you to see that this is still possible, and this is so sturdy that nothing can happen, even if you put really thick things into this pocket. You could create a tuck spot by gluing it here. Then you could put something behind here as well. Or you could also create a belly band by gluing it here, for example, and here. And then you could put something behind here like this. And this way, this vampire also would be a little bit more dimensional because it comes out from the page if you put something really thick behind it. But it's so sturdy that nothing can happen. As I said, there will come another video where I show you that, how to assemble that. But as you can see, perhaps here, it's so easy. You just have to cut the base, and then you have to puzzle it together. So you look, what is the next layer here on the flat page? Yeah, on the flat paper. You can see these tickets, and you can see this here. So that means you have to cut out the tickets. Here, the mushrooms are part of the tickets. You have to cut out that. You have to cut out this. Depending on how thick you want it, you can print this once or twice. I have put it twice here so that you have the possibility to make it thicker. But you could also use only one. Glue that together. Then we, of course, need the bones. This mushroom, the candy corn is separately. You can glue that together by just cutting these. Glue them on top of each other till you reach the thickness that you want. Then just glue it there and so on. The same with the mushrooms and everything else. So as you can see, you can also include some other materials. Here I have done it the easiest way. I have included some sewing yarn and just crumbled it up and glued it here. You can now include something to the page without destroying the design of the page. I mean, if you would glue this thread to the normal page, for example here, then you would lose parts of the mushrooms, and sometimes that looks a little bit strange. If you would assemble a collage by yourself, of course you would put the thread behind the mushrooms to make them look like they would stand here in this little nest. And with this ephemera pack, you have the possibility to do all that. You could put some real lace behind the head, for example. You could put some feathers here that would look really, really crazy, I think. And so you can change the design of this actual page just by adding your own ideas, your own materials, things from your stash. You could also use this as a piece for a journal cover, of course. This is so sturdy, and because of the dimension, it would be really, really cool to have that on a cover, and you could put your own things to customize that cover into those pockets. I hope you like that. And of course, that's not the only thing in this ephemera pack. So here we have this tuck spot. You might realize that it is this the same. It's actually a pocket or a tuck spot, depending on how you would glue that, but you know what I mean. This is the same as well, so that you could cut this here, glue it here, here, and here, or only here and here. Then you could tuck something in here or use it as a pocket. You can then use these tickets to decorate this, to glue that behind this pocket, for example, or you can make a slot here, put the tickets in here, and so on. You have so many possibilities without destroying the page or destroying the next page. With this, I thought this is really cool. I hope you like this. This was really much work. This was okay, but this was so much work, you can't believe it. I went crazy with that, so I'm hoping that you like it as much as I do, and that you like to assemble that and have fun with that. But in this set, of course, we also have some normal ephemera. I mean, these are 2 normal tags. This is, you know, a special tag. Now you know why, because you have watched the rest of the video. Yeah, so we have some of these giant tags, then some tuck spots and belly bands, some of these little labels where you can write a date or something like that, some banners, all in the colors and the theme of the junk journal pages, of course, so everything will fit to this set that I have shown you before. Then we have some smaller tags and some clusters that you, of course, also can combine with some real materials that are not paper. I mean, paper is a real material as well. Do you know what I mean? Real lace or real tickets or something like that. You could also print them in a smaller scale to make little... for example, on a belly band, it would look really cool to have some of these in a smaller scale, but you can also use them as a focal point in this size. You have, of course, various possibilities to use these. Then we have some pockets. These I have left relatively neutral so that you can also decorate them with your own things, or you could also use them as they are, of course. And then here we have some journaling cards in different sizes that you easily could turn into tags just by cutting the edges. Or, of course, you could also punch half holes here and then use those as pockets as well if you need more pockets. That was that. And then I have something where many people have asked for, and I'm really proud that I finally have that. I have a set of cabinet cards in my shop, so this is brand new as well. These are in the shop for a few days. Some people already have purchased them, so thank you very much. I got so many cute reactions to this. You are just awesome. You are just awesome. So these are called vintage cabinet cards, and these are all original cards. I have digitalized them and made them, yeah, that you can print them out. If you are confused, I have printed this out how you will get it. Yeah, so this is the sheet that you will get. Of course, you can cut these single cards and then put them to your collection put them to your journal, use them as journaling cards, put something to the background, and then to the back side, and then you could journal on the back side, or you could use them, of course, for a Halloween journal if you like that, or for whatever. But I'm trying to say you have to cut them up so that you have the cards. Yeah, if you are new to digital paper, I thought I would like to say that, because some people don't know how to use that, and of course it's a normal thing, because yeah, how should you know that if you have never used it before? So I'm really hoping that you like these and that you enjoy working with them. So that's that. And then I have taken out a really old paper collection, I would say, and this is the last thing that I would like to show you. But many people have asked me about that, and if I can say something about that. So I thought I would like to take it out, because it's Halloween themed as well, and it would match really well with the other things that I have shown you before. This is called Do It Yourself, and I have named this Halloween Mix and Match, because this is an ephemera pack that you can mix and match, yeah, as the name says. You get really crazy creatures, as you can see. Here you always have a body and a head that you can cut apart from each other, or you can leave it as it is. You can combine these bodies and heads with each other, and then you can decorate them with wings or ears or other crazy accessories. So we have some crazy hair and some other typical Halloween things. I've turned this pumpkin into some hair, for example, some rainbow hair, all those crazy things. And then you can make some collages out of that. And I have seen so many crazy and cute things made with this set that's nearly unbelievable. I've created this in 2020, so that's 2 years ago, and this is still so often on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. You have used that during the whole year, not only for the Halloween season. There were so many crazy creatures that I have seen, even some shelf decorations. You have taken these houses and then put them to something wooden panel, for example, so that it is like a little scene that you could put to your shelf or your wall. You have made so many crazy things with that, and I'm totally overwhelmed about what you have done with this set. Yeah, so I thought I would like to show you that as well really quickly. The most of you might know this, but if you are searching for something that is like mix and match and that you can use for collages, then this is probably the right thing for you. And there's also a Halloween playlist on my YouTube channel. In that playlist, I have some videos how I have created this year in 2020, as you can see, with exactly this do-it-yourself set. So in that videos, I think there are 4 or 5 videos, I'm not totally sure, I show you how I have made this. So this is just a little art journal made out of some playing cards. And I have created some pages, actually only these. I don't know why. I think I haven't had enough time to do that. But if you want to see how I have done this with this set, then you can check out the playlist. And in the Halloween playlist, there are also some other Halloweenish videos with some Halloween inspiration, if you want to check that out. Also, not only with this set, but also with other things and materials. And as you can see, here are some pages that are empty. I don't know why I haven't finished that. I think the time was not enough, but I thought I used the time to, or the chance to take this out and show this to you. Yeah, so, whew. Now, I think you have many things to play with. Thank you very, very much for your patience. Thank you so much for your support. That is always so, so great. And for me, a very, very special thing. I love you all so much. And I'm really excited to edit and upload this video now. And I'm looking forward to all of the things that will happen now. See you the next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.